Hi guys, welcome to the Fight Tonight channel. Devin Haney to George Kambosos. It's starting to look like some talking going on. Undefeated WBC lightweight Devin Haney put a tweet out on Sunday that should be of considerable interest to fans. Yo, George Kambosos, we making these fights happen or what? I'm agreeing to all your terms, whether it's the vaccine or travel. It's starting to look like some talking going on. Eddie Hearn. Devin Haney was last seen in the ring besting Joseph Diaz last December via unanimous decision. Needless to say, the 23-year-old Vegas, by way of San Francisco-based fighter is considered one of the most talented young boxers in the world. He also has plenty of potential high-level competition, Kambosos included. As for Kambosos, the Asia surprised a considerable number of people when he boxed his way to a masterclass win over rising star Teofimo Lopez in November. That split decision victory gave the 20-0 fighter the WBO, IBF and WBA super lightweight titles, all of which means of course that a fight between he and Haney would be for supremacy over a division overloaded with talent. Kambosos has recently indicated that he'd be more than willing to face Haney in the ring. I love the Haney fight, the 28-year-old recently told Fight Hub. He also said there will be no tune-up fight, arranged before his next significant bout. Like I said, I'm cut from a different cloth. Indeed, it seems Kambosos wants to be seen as a man willing to take on all comers. I'm not like the typical Australian fighter who's going to milk this now, he says of his recent good fortune. I'm coming for the biggest names. While Haney indicated that might not be the case, this can all be considered the kind of gamesmanship that leads to a major fight being made. In fact, Kambosos was quick to respond to Haney's post. I love how you manipulate and lie to your fans, he tweeted in response Sunday. Talk a big game but show no action. A bit like your fights, I am patiently waiting with all my bells for the offer from your boss Eddie here, because I got a stadium ready in Australia. But I can see the excuses already. So you want our side to put the money up in your backyard? Haney shot back. Okay, no problem, see you soon and keep those belts safe, because they all believe in Australia soon. Here is hoping this one becomes a reality. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. If you really enjoy the content, then please subscribe to my channel and keep watching the videos. If you are subscribed, then you receive notifications about the release of new videos. You do not even have to look for anything personally. I really want to get 100 subscribers on my channel. I am trying very hard, absolutely every day, and I need your support. Your likes, comments, reposts to social networks. Thanks to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You are my support. Thank you so much. As the shattering constraints brought on by the pandemic began to dissipate in 2021, the sport of boxing turned out one of its best years in recent memory. Not only was there a consistent set of big fights being scheduled, more often than not they exceed that, the expectations coming in. From big-time heavyweight and welterweight matchups on the pay-per-view level to history being made in the form of multiple undisputed champions. Boxing was hot over the past 12 months. It's only natural to enter the new year with a fresh new list of must-see matchups. Let's take a closer look at the 5 topping this riser's wish list for 2022. Gervonta vs Garcia. Pick your position from the standpoint of which matchup would make you the most excited within a star-studded lightweight division that also features like Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, George Kambosos Jr. and former Unifit champion Vasily Lomachenko. As long as any of the top lightweights square off against one another, boxing will be in a healthy place in 2022. But a fight to make it 135 pounds that offered the most in the ring excitement just might be the multi-division champion and pay-per-view star Davis against the fellow unbeaten Garcia. who brings a massive social media following with him to each fight. Not only do their styles contrast perfectly with Davis, an efficient counter-puncher, and Garcia, an aggressive stalker with frightening hand speed, both go for the knockout the entire fight. Rare is it in modern boxing for two young stars backed by rival promoters to face off, while they are this young with Davis and 27 and Garcia having just turned 23, but the fight would undoubtedly do big business, and it's hard to imagine it not delivering in the ring as well. The second, Terence Crawford vs Errol Spence Jr. Considering their respective ages, Crawford is 34, Spence is 31, and the multiple career-threatening injuries Spence has faced in recent years, from a scary car accident to surgery on a detached retina. There is a growing number of critics who have pondered whether the prime window for this super fight has already closed, a perennial choice for this list for years. Boxing's unfortunate political and network divide has prevented fans from seeing such a pivotal matchup between what appears to be two all-time great welterweights. But Crawford's exit from his top-ranked promotional deal into free agency has brought back some optimism that 2022 could be the year. Both fighters are ranked in the top 5 pound for pound. And both can do it all as scientific boxers or power punchers. Spence, the IBF and WBC champion, will need to first unify belts against WBA champion Yorgenis Ugas to open the year. Crawford would also need to likely sign with El Heyman, Premier Boxing Champions, which represents Spence, to make the fight happen. Better late than never. This is the fight that the historically deep welterweight division has long needed, and could be this generation's version of Ray Leonard vs Thomas Hearns. The third, Canelo Alvarez vs the light heavyweight division. Take your pick from the trio of current 175-pound world title holders for the pound-for-pound king to choose from, but it would be a massive matchup as Alvarez continues to cement his all-time great legacy, fresh off unifying all 4 belts. At super middleweight for the first time in boxing history, there is good reason to believe light heavyweight will be the site of Alvarez's next conquest. Let's not forget, Alvarez previously captured the WBC title at 175 pounds in 2019 by knocking out Sergey Kovalev before vacating the title, even though Alvarez manager-trainer Eddie Reynoso appears to prefer an ever bolder move up to cruiserweight to chase a belt against Ilunga Makabu. A move to light heavyweight is more realistic given Alvarez's size. That doesn't mean corralling 175-pound titles would be an easy task. For as limited as WBO champion Joe Smith Jr. he brings huge power. WBA champion Dmitry Bivol, meanwhile, is an elite boxer with a strong amateur pedigree. And then there is WBC and IBF champion Artur Beterbiev, who can do it all as a boxer or puncher but seems to be slowing down just a bit at age 36 despite a gaudy 70-0 record with 70 knockouts. Alvarez's resume is already untouchable from the standpoint of being a Hall of Famer in waiting, but taking such of a dangerous challenge in pursuit of all the belts. 4. Josh Taylor vs Teofimo Lopez Jr. It appears Lopez's day at 135 could be behind him following his upset loss to Kambosos, the new Undefeated lightweight champion. Lopez could make massive fight against any number of the young stars at lightweight, or a rematch against Lomachenko, the former pound-for-pound king. But at 24, even with the chaos of his personal life over the past year, it already appeared as if Lopez's body had grown out of the division. Should he move up to 114, the opportunity at instant history could await him in the form of unbeaten and unified junior welterweight boss Josh Taylor. It's a fight that would promise the perfect mix of drama and high-level skill, and is also an easy one to make given both fighters showing top rank as promoter. Yes, the jury is still out as to whether Lopez can clean up his outside the ring issues in time to be at his best for a fight that's dangerous. But both he and his brash father trainer of the same name have been nothing but bold throughout his short career in chasing after huge challenges and conquering them. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel.